YouTube, Ronin Kaze. This is day 2. How you doing today, YouTube? All right. So, you got new managers, or you have old ones. First, quick sidebar. This is that guy from the TV show. He's in the game, so I think that's kind of cool. So I'm showing you how I talked to him. These clips are not necessarily in order. This character I leveled to level 50 with, you can see up in the right, I might show you how much cash I have. I can't see. I don't got my glasses on, so I can't see. And I'm just cutting right over. This woman was calling for help. And so I, like a dummy, I went over to save her, YouTube. So she ends up getting me knocked out. This is a cut scene, and now I wake up and I'm in a cell. If you could like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, buy me a cup of coffee if you'd like. So, you have a manager. I was recently talking to one of my friends, and we were both trying to go to a job, and my friend got the job. I didn't. It didn't really hurt me. I already had a job. But the same person interviewed both of us, and that was going to be our manager. And manager seemed okay when I talked to him, but I'm interviewing him just like he's interviewing me. My friend gets the job, and immediately that guy is a less than truthful person. Doesn't remember things. That's not really how it was. Indecisive. Other co-workers with my friend would say, well, I want to do this, and would countermand what him and the new manager had said. So it's really bad. And it's in a sales position. And basically in a sales position, you're working on some type of commission. Sometimes you get a base pay and then you get a commission. Sometimes you're full commission. In any case, commission discussions and payments are very important to everyone that is a salesperson. A lot of times salespeople have territories. And if you don't have territories, then you haven't understand with other salespeople. Don't sell where I'm selling, right? Even though your manager may countermand that. Those managers are horrible too, but we'll talk about them later. So he's working in that company. He has all these problems. Eventually he leaves that company. They're not thrilled with him because he's only met all the objectives, but the other people there might have a problem with him. And he's worked with them before, but it's whatever. So recently, after the new year, that manager reached out and said, hey, I really liked LinkedIn and I really believe in it. And I want a reference from you. Now, this is when my friend called me and said, can you believe the stones on this guy? He didn't say that. I said stones, but he said something to that effect. And so what I want to tell you about managers is this. I don't believe in a lot of things 100%, but I have a good belief that leadership, you're just born with it. And you cultivate it. Not everyone that has those traits when they're a child cultivates them and becomes a leader. Sometimes you're an informal leader, and then you take the next step and you're a formal leader. What's an informal leader? You're all dishwashers in a restaurant, and one person just takes initiative to make things better or help people out or teach them without anyone asking them, right? They're just a natural leader. Managers love having informal leaders because they kind of do the work that the manager's supposed to do. Managerial skills are like setting the schedule, having policies and procedures, making sure that you have all the things you need to complete your job, those kind of things. Processes, procedures, those kind of things. They're not the person setting the vision. Everyone could be a good manager. If someone's not a good manager, they're choosing not to be a good manager. They're choosing not to remove obstacles for. Why do managers do that? Because they have low self-esteem. Here I'm talking to this new boss. And I'm like, I woke up here, I'm like, what's going on? I have questions. And he's like, hey, I saw you smoke a bunch of people. Everyone says you're the new badass in town. Excuse me, YouTube. I want you to prove it. I'm like, I don't dance. I'm not a dancing animal. So a lot of managers are insecure. Either they get promoted in the same company, and so their former friends are now their employees, and that's just always a recipe for disaster. Or they don't know technically as much as the subordinate, so somehow they feel inferior. Most times it's their fault. They have a problem. They're going to take it out on you. But a manager's job is this. It's not to lead you. It's not to inspire you. It's to make sure that they get the most work out of you, that you're happy, and the work is productive. The best managers make both those meet. They give you goals that you can hit. They reward you, and they get their work done. A leader is someone that inspires you. A leader is someone who's like, I would follow that person anywhere. If they went to this other place, I'd follow them there. And a lot of times you'll see on social media, they'll try to tell you that you can be a leader, that you can't. You either have it or you don't. I'm sorry. Sorry. That's just how it is. You could be, but you choose not to because you probably don't have the goods. You can be a good manager, though. So nothing's stopping you from being a good manager. Part of being a good manager is being self-aware. The person I told you about whose manager said, hey, can you write me a reference on LinkedIn? A public reference. Not a good manager. So I'm about to fight like in a King of the Hill round robin battle up in here. And so you're going to see me. I break out like a melee weapon, and it's a hammer. And it lights them on fire, and I'm whooping and doing. What's the worst thing you could do to someone that asks for a recommendation on LinkedIn? I'll give you a second. Seconds up. Is it you write them a bad review? No, they just will never publish your review. Is it that you never write the review, period? No, doesn't matter. That's not the worst thing to happen. Worst thing that could happen is you go on LinkedIn and you write a story about how shitty that manager is. And that he had the nerve to ask you for this, and I'm right in the ear. That's a person that's not aware of what they've done to other people, because they could hold a grudge and want to grind an axe on your rep. So, we've all had bad managers. What's probably the hardest situation for employees? You have a manager that's younger than you, that doesn't know as much as you, but they put him or her in charge of you. So what should you do as an employee? I'm going to tell you, you should do everything to help them be a good manager, right? You should do everything they tell you to do. And I think as employees, I always have the right to know, why am I supposed to do this? Maybe sometimes a manager can't tell you right then. I was in the Coast Guard. You can imagine that they didn't like him. I said, why do we got to do this way? This doesn't seem very smart. And eventually I came with a compromise with probably my first real manager. His name was Sean. I loved that guy. He was awesome. And he said, listen, I can't tell you right now, just do what I'm telling you to do, and then I will explain it later. Always explained it later. Might not have been the answer I wanted, but he would at least let me know. So I had some framework, and if I was ever in a situation where I had to do something, I knew from previous experience, he'd set it straight later on. He'd tell me, here's what was going on. Right? So that took away that barrier. That made me work faster, work quicker, and just follow their orders a little bit better. So you can help impart all this to junior managers, right? All the time. Because at the end of the day, you just want to do your job at a certain point, and you want it to be hassle-free, and you want to do everything that you can do, that you could earn a bonus. If your company's going to give a bonus out, you want to do everything that you can to get your bonus. I was at a lot of companies where they try to tie it to incentives. And when you try to tie unmeasurable things to incentives, you're just sowing discord. You're sowing the seeds, right? You're planting the seeds for discord. And as a manager, you should just say to your boss, like, what are we doing? We're not going to give out bonuses, and we're going to piss off people. And the people that we should give bonuses are, right? You should just give people bonuses or don't give them bonuses. Because what you don't know as a manager, you don't know all the other things that other people help people for. You're always going to have people that slide off, don't do all the work, and you're going to have other people that are going to outperform. You're always going to have that. And the people that don't do enough work, if they get a bonus, they know that, Larry's a really good worker, so that's why I'm getting this bonus. I didn't do anything, but they had to give everyone a bonus. They don't want to delineate the difference between us, so I keep dying to this. This is a Deathclaw. It's in season 2. Deathclaws in Fallout universe are bad. So I think eventually I get a combat shotgun, and I notice it takes the health down really fast. I try a machine gun, it just doesn't do enough damage. It's coming. Deathclaws are so awesome that you can create a melee weapon with their claw. So one of the trophies is you get their claw and you turn it into a hand weapon. It does a ton of damage. And I got the alert, Deathclaw alert. There is a pucker factor whenever you hear about Deathclaw. I saw the trailer for this Fallout 2, and the vault person's like, we can handle it. And when the thing comes out, that's the little alert. That's what's in the alert, the little picture of that thing. So I die a bunch of times to this. So you can try to teach them, but some people are just, they can't be reached. Reminds me of Cool Hand Luke, the part. That's the way he wants it, so that's the way they get it, right? Some managers are just really bad at it. You're never going to change them. They have problems at home. Whatever their issues are, you're not going to change it. So in those cases, you're usually going to leave. I didn't want to be in this mission. I thought I was going on the mission with that guy. I'm like, let me start that mission. I ended up going to this place, listened to her thing, and then I'm in here now. I'm fighting for my life in cage match. My XP per hour, YouTube. So what are you supposed to do if you're the manager? Number one, be self-aware, right? As human beings, if you want to have a decent life, don't be a contented cow. Examine your life. You don't have to admit your foibles to everyone, but you know what you're doing right or wrong. You know how you'd want to be treated. So try to have some idea of how you're doing. Number 2 is, when I was a VP and I looked at other managers, I looked at the performance of the people they were in charge of. If those people were squared away, the manager was doing well. One of the problems with, it's not a problem, it's one of the things that happens when you promote someone from within. They have to prove themselves a lot. If you have a really high performer, they might think that they're getting promoted because, whatever, so they try to prove themselves. When you're a manager, your employees are supposed to be AJ squared away. They're supposed to do the best. They have no obstacles. If they have an obstacle, they feel comfortable to talk to you, and you just remove obstacles. That's what your job is, to make them more productive. You'll be more productive. And if your manager doesn't realize how good you are, then leave there and then let him find out having a different kind of manager. Those kind of managers that make their teams productive, it's what you read about and everything. But Ronin, I want to be a leader. How about number 1, let's be a good manager. When you're a leader. Steve Jobs, not a good leader, not a good manager. Good leader, inspirational. He was so good that he had to leave Apple because he didn't know how to run it. And you can see the biopics on him. He was a crappy person as a manager of a team. And broken people would, I'll do it for you, Steve. A lot of leaders aren't good managers. And here's what's disappointing about that, is I can't see how much time I got. What's disappointing about that, it's a learned skill. So how good is the leader that won't take the time to also be a good manager? To do your schedule, to take your phone calls, to answer emails. And there's a good chance as adults, I know this is off topic a little bit, but when do we change? I told you the story that my parents got divorced when I was 5, and we moved to Detroit from Oxford, Michigan. So that's like 60 miles away. It's going from I'm going to say like a small farming community that ends up being a very northern suburb of Detroit to the city. Inside 8 Mile, right? Then at 18, my father died. And I joined the Coast Guard at like 22. Then I got out of the Coast Guard at like 35. Right? My mom died at some point. I got divorced and married. I had a child. These major events are times that you can change. For whatever reason, it either creates a nexus, crossroads in your life, or it slows things down where you can pivot and go to a new direction. It's hard as heck to change the car while the car is moving, change the tires. Change the car while the car is moving. That's like a stunt move. It's hard to change the tires while the car is moving, they say. So if you don't think you're a leader now, just be a really good manager. Part about being a leader is being inspirational, inspire, to breathe life into something. That's hard to do. You either have a vision for that or you don't. You either have the courage to stand up in a room and say, this is what we should do, and I'm the person to get us there. And if you're a good leader, you've already got the room to agree with you, so when you do it, you'll be the leader. Right? You will have already politicked because you've already learned those skills your whole life. But are those people good managers? Do those people, when they get the leadership, do they go back and all the promises they make, did it make good on them? Did they do all those things, right? So you might be a fantastic leader, but not everyone's going to follow you after you crap out so many times. Okay, so now I'm out. He sent me to go up and talk to one of his buddies, and on the way there, I'm like, there's a Deathclaw. I beat a Deathclaw before. I'm going to smoke this guy. So he has a handler, so I'm killing that handler. And now it's coming, and I look at its health, and I don't have my shotgun because I need to do range, and I don't know how to change my weapons really fast. It's not that I don't know how, I'm just too lazy to learn how to do it. Guess what happens to lazy people, YouTube? They meet a Deathclaw. It's, ow, my health's in the lower left, so you're going to, man, second hit, I went down. Down goes Frazier. And I backed up into these hogs. These hogs are attacking that Deathclaw. So YouTube, that's a little bit on managers, kind of what to do with managers, what to do if you're that manager, how you can change, and a little bit of Fallout, how the game, Fallout 76 and Fallout TV series are kind of mirrored together. This is Ronin Kaze. Hope you have a wonderful day. Ronin Kaze out. Not Rosen.